That's what Mitch Blaschke, Parker Schnabel's right-hand man for over 9 seasons, took home from season 16. A season Parker's own team calls a failure. They pulled only 6,200 ounces against a 9,000-ounce goal. They missed their target by nearly a third, and yet, individual crew paychecks exceeded what most Americans earn in a decade. The frozen Yukon beat them down all season. This winter, I have spent all the money I can get my hands on buying equipment and hiring people. That's a challenge. This is kind of uncharted territory for me. The gold didn't cooperate. But when those direct deposits hit, nobody was complaining that there's a hidden financial engine running behind Gold Rush that transforms even disaster seasons into life-changing money. The failure season 16 started with Parker's most ambitious target yet, 9,000 ounces of gold worth roughly $31.5 million at current prices. He put foreman Tyson Lee in charge of 2 wash plants at Dominion Creek. Parker's given me more and more responsibility this year from last year. It's probably about 3 times as much. We have so many new people, and with Parker still expecting more than double productivity. While Mitch Blaschke and Brennan Rua fired up operations at Sulphur Creek, 4 plants running simultaneously. Over 60 machines. Operating costs exceeding $100,000 per week. Mid-season, the numbers weren't adding up. Parker dropped the goal to 7,500 ounces. The final weigh-in delivered the verdict, 6,200 ounces. That's $21.7 million worth of gold. A fortune by any normal standard, but a gut punch for a crew chasing nearly $32 million. For the second consecutive season, Parker Schnabel had set a goal and missed it. The crew was exhausted, demoralized, convinced they'd let everyone down. Then the paychecks arrived. The mining wages, the actual numbers work like this. An entry-level position on Parker's crew starts at around $28 an hour. But these aren't 40-hour weeks. A standard shift runs close to 75 hours. Over a 6-month season, a first-year worker walks away with roughly $65,000 in base wages alone. Michael Thompson, who operated Wash Plant Bob at the Bridge Cut this season, fell into that category. Right now we have Michael digging pay down by Bob in the Bridge Cut. The cut's looking really nice, new to the operation, learning the ropes, still proving himself. His base pay alone exceeded what he'd have made in 18 months at most blue-collar jobs, but the veterans? Different ballgame entirely. Brennan Rua, Parker's excavator operator who rejoined the team after a stint with Kevin Beats, commands around $40 an hour. He's been with Parker's operation off and on since 2015. Knows every inch of the equipment. Can sense when something's about to fail before the warning lights even flicker. His base seasonal wages push past $90,000. Tyson Lee, the foreman who ran both wash plants at Dominion Creek, earns even more, managing 2 operations simultaneously, coordinating dozens of workers, troubleshooting catastrophic failures in real time. Top men at Parker's level pull between $100,000 and $120,000 in base pay per season. Then there's Mitch Blaschke. 9 seasons with Parker. The mechanic who keeps million-dollar machinery running with duct tape and determination when parts are 2 weeks out. The guy Parker trusts to run entire sites solo. His base wages approach $130,000. But base wages are just the foundation. The bonus system week 14, 2:17 a.m. Big Red's hydraulic system blows at Sulphur Creek. Mitch Blaschke doesn't groan about overtime. He sprints. Every hour that wash plant sits idle costs him roughly $200 in season-end bonus money. That's the system Parker built. One where fixing a broken hydraulic line in frozen mud at midnight isn't a burden. It's a payday. What the? Tyson, shut it off. Something just let loose. Kill the feed. Kill the feed. Something is let loose on this wash plant. Parker's performance-based bonus structure ties everyone's compensation directly to gold production. The more ounces in the sluice box, the bigger everyone's check. When Big Red goes down, it's not just Parker's problem anymore. It's Mitch's mortgage payment. It's Brennan's kids' college fund. It's every crew member's stake in whether this season ends in celebration or disappointment. The mechanics of it are simple. A percentage of the total gold value gets distributed based on role and tenure. For key personnel like Mitch and Tyson, that bonus can add another $40,000 to $60,000 on top of base wages. Even in a failed season like season 16, where they missed the target by 30%, the bonus pool from $21.7 million worth of gold still dwarfed what most Americans see in a year. Not everyone qualifies. Night truck drivers and entry-level laborers are capped at their hourly wages. It creates an internal hierarchy, but even those excluded get something the numbers don't capture: free housing and meals for 6 months in one of the most expensive remote places on Earth. That perk alone saves each worker thousands of dollars. The secret that changes everything: television money now for the part that most Gold Rush viewers never think about. The financial bombshell that explains why Mitch Blaschke walked away with $350,000 from a failed season: the television money. This is the dirty secret of reality television that production companies would prefer stayed quiet. The cast isn't just working for free while cameras follow them around. They're getting paid. And in the case of Gold Rush, they're getting paid extremely well. Gold Rush isn't just a documentary following miners. It's one of the highest-rated shows on the Discovery Channel, running for over 16 seasons, pulling millions of viewers every single Friday night. The show has made household names out of Yukon miners. It's spawned multiple spin-offs. It's created an entire ecosystem of gold mining entertainment that didn't exist before. Being on a show that's successful comes with paychecks that dwarf mining wages. The actual numbers work like this. For the main bosses, Parker Schnabel, Tony Beats, Rick Ness, the estimated payout ranges between $25,000 and $30,000 per episode. Some reports put Tony Beats as high as $150,000 to $200,000 per episode, given his veteran status and fan following. A typical Gold Rush season runs about 20 episodes. Parker alone pulls in over $500,000 annually just for being on camera, completely separate from whatever gold comes out of the ground. Good ground makes everything else just a minor detail. I will mine in half. The ground's good. But the supporting cast cashes in too. And this is where season 16's paychecks start making sense. Brennan Rua, with his 9 years of screen time and over 68 episodes under his belt, earns an estimated $25,000 per episode. Across a full season, that's up to $500,000 in television money alone. Mitch Blaschke, who's been featured in over 128 episodes since joining the show in 2010, commands similar rates. He's become as much a television personality as a mechanic at this point. Even newer faces with significant screen time: Tyson Lee running both Dominion operations, Michael Thompson learning at Wash Plant Bob, pull television checks in the $10,000 to $15,000 per episode range. Over 20 episodes, that's $200,000 plus on top of their mining wages. What season 16 actually paid. The season ended in late October. The final weigh-ins were complete. The wash plants went silent. Equipment was winterized, tarped, and left to wait out the Yukon's brutal winter. The crew scattered back to their lives across Canada and the lower 48 states, carrying 6 months of exhaustion in their bones. Then, within the span of a few weeks, the deposits started hitting bank accounts. Mitch Blaschke saw his first payment land, the mining wages, $127,000 for 6 months of running Sulphur Creek operations, keeping million-dollar equipment alive through breakdowns that would have crippled lesser mechanics, managing catastrophic failures with creative solutions and pure determination, good money. Expected money. The kind of paycheck that makes the 16-hour days feel worth it. Then came the bonus distribution from the $21.7 million gold haul. Based on his tenure, his role, and his critical importance to the operation, Mitch's share came to another $52,000. His total mining compensation for the season crossed $179,000, but Mitch had also appeared in 19 of the season's 20 episodes, 9 years of screen time, over 128 total episodes across his Gold Rush career. He's been with the show long enough to command top-tier television rates, the kind reserved for cast members who become genuine fan favorites. When that television check arrived, roughly $475,000 in compensation for his season 16 appearances, Mitch Blaschke's total compensation landed just north of $350,000 after taxes and standard deductions. For a season everyone called a failure, for a year when they missed their target by nearly a third, Mitch walked away with life-changing money. Brennan Rua's numbers told a similar story. The excavator operator who rejoined Parker's crew after a stint with Kevin Beats had been with the operation off and on since 2015. Well, thank you very much, Parker. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to help. Good to see you guys. Same. Best of luck. Better give you a hug, old-timer. He knew exactly what he was signing up for. Base wages around $92,000 for the season. Performance bonus near $38,000 from his share of the gold haul. Television payments for 18 episode appearances at an estimated $25,000 per episode, given his 68 episode history with the show, pushing $450,000 in additional compensation. His combined take-home for season 16 exceeded $300,000. Brennan had left Kevin Beats' operation mid-season to rejoin Parker. Looking at his final numbers, it's easy to understand why Tyson Lee, newer to the primary cast but featured heavily as the foreman running Dominion Creek's dual wash plant operations, saw his own windfall materialize. Base wages around $118,000. Foreman money earned through the stress of coordinating dozens of workers across multiple sites. Performance bonus near $45,000. His television compensation, estimated at $15,000 per episode for 16 featured appearances, added another $240,000 he'd never have seen in a normal foreman job. Total take-home for Tyson Lee, roughly $390,000. Even Michael Thompson, brand new to the operation, walked away with his life changed. His base mining wages hit approximately $68,000, solid money for a first-year laborer still learning the ropes. No performance bonus, first-year workers don't qualify under Parker's system. But his screen time as the fresh face learning at Wash Plant Bob, the guy viewers watched make rookie mistakes and gradually find his footing, earned him around $8,000 per episode across 12 substantial appearances. That's another $96,000 he never expected when he signed up to dig frozen dirt in the Yukon. A first-year miner fresh to gold mining, taking home over $160,000 from a single season. These weren't outliers. These weren't special cases. These were the standard results for Parker Schnabel's key personnel in a season they considered disappointing. Parker's burden: why the risk still matters. So if the television money is this massive, why does anyone care about actually finding gold? Because Parker Schnabel pays for everything up front. Every single dollar of operating cost comes out of his pocket before a single ounce of gold hits the sluice box. The fuel for over 60 machines running 16 hours a day. The million-dollar excavators that need constant maintenance. The wash plants that break down at the worst possible moments. The replacement parts that have to be shipped to one of the most remote locations in North America. The land leases that cost hundreds of thousands annually. The $100,000 weekly operating costs that don't stop whether the gold is flowing or not, super important this year. Like it's a big year of sluicing, more than ever before. The big push right now is keep plants running and the stripping crew stay out ahead of them. The payroll for dozens of workers across 6 grueling months. If the season completely collapses, if the equipment fails catastrophically, if the ground turns out barren, if the gold simply isn't there, Mitch Blaschke still gets paid. Brennan Roa still gets paid. Tyson Lee still gets paid. Every entry-level laborer still walks away with their wages. Parker absorbs the loss. That's why the gold still matters. That's why the tension you see on screen is real. Parker isn't just chasing television drama. He's trying to cover millions in upfront expenses before the season ends. A truly catastrophic failure wouldn't just hurt his pride. It would hurt his empire. His net worth sits around $10 million. He built that before turning 30, but it's not sitting safely in a bank somewhere. It's invested in equipment, land claims, and the ongoing bet that he can keep pulling gold from the frozen Yukon. The loyalty you see from Mitch, from Brennan, from Tyson and the rest, it's not just about the money. It's respect for the man who shoulders all the risk so they can cash checks whether the season succeeds or fails. The golden rule: 6 months from now, when the Yukon thaws and the mud returns, these same crews will be back. Mitch Blaschke will be under Big Red at 2 a.m. again, covered in hydraulic fluid, racing to fix something that just broke. Brennan Roa will be moving dirt from the moment the sun rises until long after it sets. Tyson Lee will be juggling operations across multiple sites, putting out fires before they become catastrophes. Michael Thompson will return for his second season, no longer the rookie, now understanding exactly what's at stake, not because they love the cold. Not because 16-hour shifts in frozen mud are anyone's idea of a good time. Not because there's nothing else they could be doing with their lives, because even when Parker Schnabel misses his target by a third, working for him pays better than most careers ever will. Season 16 was a failure by their own standards. They aimed for 9,000 ounces and pulled 6,200. They left nearly $10 million worth of gold still buried in frozen ground. By every metric the crew set for themselves, they came up short, and every key crew member still walked away with 6 figures, some with multiple 6 figures. The entry-level guys earned more than most Americans make in 3 years. The veterans earned more than doctors, lawyers, and executives. The golden rule of Gold Rush isn't about the gold. It's about the checks that come whether you find it or not.